This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Begin with the flag salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
After a few little techie issues, we are here for June 27th Marion County Commission meeting. We begin with public comments. Are there any public comments? Anyone online? Since we've been going in and out. Doesn't look like it. With that, we'll move into agenda approval. Any additions or changes to the agenda? 145 may be removed. We'll see once Brad gets here. If not, we'll move forward into administrative.
Okay. I have several sets of minutes for you. So June 9th, you did approve those, but then I realized that I didn't have Commissioner Gehring listed and he was present. So we would need to reapprove that one. And then I've got the minutes of, I don't know how far, do you want me to just list them all? The 13th, 17th, 20th, and 24th.
I'd move approval of minutes of June 9th, 13th, 17th, 20th, and 24th.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, so we had some early checks on June 20th. However, you all decided to delay your closing on the one property, so that check had to be voided. We reissued a new check number for the lesser amount. So this is a revised payables for June 20th for approval.
The commission has had a chance to review the early checks. Is there a motion to approve?
Excuse me.
Okay,
Say
question?
you recut a check for a lesser amount.
Okay, so we had to void, there were two properties.
Right.
So we had to void the check for the one property and just issue a check for only the one other
Right.
property.
Okay, very good.
So no head check has been issued for the other.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Thanks for clearing that up. Now, is there a motion to approve the early checks in the amount of $26,807.96?
So moved.
Commissioner Becker made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Discussion?
I see the one check for 25.
There's thousands of them.
Okay.
There's thousands for
All right.
Ramona.
Yeah. Okay.
Transit.
So that was on the previous one.
Yeah.
All we did was,
Okay.
you initially had another check for a larger amount, and so that
Just
one had to be
making sure the
voided.
totals come up. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Sorry, I probably should have put the original, all the original in there and then all the change, but, so that is this back one. Again, that was a revised early payments for last Monday. And the next thing I have would be the early payments for today. So we had a $15 check and then the grand total of the ARPA payroll, and that's the total payables for today.
Okay, is there a motion to approve total payables today, $705,450.02?
That's $465.02.
$465.02, that was a little long. Yeah, $705,465.02.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Crowfoot, is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, so you'll have two
sets
things to
to sign.
sign on the payables, and then here is the payroll. going, do you want me to have you sign these?
Yes.
Okay. This one I had to re-sign because of this printing.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry.
That's right.
There's more. You had 2 extras to sign because I had to reprint previously approved ones with no changes.
There's the last one. You guys got tried to do it.
Power at the end.
As long as it happens down there.
Yeah, that's right.
I need to write a report.
Paper.
What's happening? What?
Don't distract Tina.
Okay, last week you took a vote to change the mileage rate to be in line with the IRS effective July 1st, and we have a resolution for that prepared for you for today. And that would be number 21.
Is there a motion to approve resolution? Commissioner Gary makes the motion to approve resolution 2022-21, which addresses the IRS mileage rate. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Becker. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. So we gotta get we're doing the resolutions.
Is that a goal?
No, no, no.
Well, I guess it's not too hard.
I put a copy of the memo and agreement with the special ed co-op on the table there for you. Krista is not here today, and she would ask for approval for this agreement and authorization for the chairman to sign.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Gary to approve the agreement between Marion County Special Education Cooperative and Marion County Health Department. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Dalkey, got there,
Oh.
you got there with the finger.
Oh, okay.
I actually saw it, I was looking down before. Any discussion about the agreement? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. And then Commissioner Gary's motion included authorization for chairman to sign.
Yes.
And the second of approved that, right? Let's forget to tag that one.
She said it.
Okay.
She said it, and I moved it.
Okay. I think you had it covered.
I printed out like way too many copies of administrative. Okay. In your packet, you did have the job description that was presented for, and this has had some changes since you saw it budget time, but it was in your packet, and that is for the lead corrections officer. So if you're okay with the changes, Cherry worked with the Sheriff's Department and Jim to get it finalized.
Yep. Sheriff, sir, do you have any comments, or are there any questions from the commission? We've all had a chance to review it. Is there a motion to approve the job description for the lead corrections officer?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Becker, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Crowe, I beat you with the finger. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So in your packets, you had a letter, I guess a memo from Marcy Hostetler regarding the hazard mitigation plan. And this is, needs action from the board to opt into that plan. She has to reach out to all the entities involved this time and get a new opt-in.
It's once every 5 years, looks like.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve participation?
I'll make a motion to approve the participation in the hazard mitigation plan for the
Okay.
next 5 years.
Motion by Commissioner Becker, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Garing, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed the second.
Garing.
Thank you. Make me write really fast. Okay. And are we good with the chairman signing this form?
Okay, we need to make a motion.
I think the mover and the
Can
second.
we make a
will-
universal motion on
Yeah, can we
those
do that?
I
going
think so.
forward?
Yes?
I mean, really, it's just, not that it takes a lot of time, but sometimes you don't think about it. I make a motion that going forward, the chairman would have the good authority to sign for the commission on those items that require the chairman to sign.
For items that are moved and passed.
Okay, for items that are moved and passed. Anything else I missed?
Second.
Can Tina get on
You bet.
that?
Can you repeat that?
Is Becker and Garing?
Yeah, that's fine. And the second was?
Garing.
Okay. I'll grab it from the video. Is what I'm gonna do. I got the gist of it, okay.
And the clerk does have the authority to do some editing on it.
You know, I'm just thinking,
Actually-
if we can do that, why not?
Okay. And so-
Okay, we have the motion and second. Is there discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you.
Okay, and that, the signature would be here, representing.
Yes.
I was gonna say ability, but
Yes,
that
right
might,
here.
that might exempt some of us.
I have a question for you. Did you want to authorize the vice chairman to do the same, the absence of the chair? Or do you have to do that since the vice chair automatically takes over the?
That should be automatic, shouldn't it? What do you think? You got it.
What was your motion?
What Tina said.
Yeah.
The vice chair.
Vice chairman covers.
In
is
the
authorized-
absence.
Is authorized to sign in the absence.
I'll
of the
second that.
chairman in cases that the chairman is absent.
Okay, so I heard a second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 5-0. We're getting a lot of consensus on these two.
Let's see, what else can we
Good
get
thing
done
those are all
today?
resolutions. We would be getting to 100. We would be.
We would be. Okay,
All right. Yeah, that cranked through all that.
I believe
Lead correction.
that's all I had. For admin. Oops.
All right, we're through admin. Our next agenda item's 1 o'clock. Sheriff, you're here. Would you want to make some unscripted, unplanned
No, I implemented a self-evaluation of all supervisors in our department that allow all of our employees to evaluate their supervisors to get some feedback from them to see kind of maybe help them morale and everything else.
Unanimously, or anonymously?
It's all anonymous. And we did it free of charge, no money to the county. They'll be able to type in whatever they want, and it goes to me. We're gonna put the information together and see where we got our strengths and where we got our weaknesses.
Very good.
So,
What about this lead corrections?
That you did that
We're
already.
ready for it,
We were moving
Good
so
job.
fast.
I think you seconded it, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, you did second it.
This is not looking good.
I did it out of order. That's why.
Yeah. That's right, I was thinking Marcy.
It's right there, page 37.
Wow, that's the fastest we've ever gone through that admin. That much stuff. I better make sure I don't have any salary sheets in here. I remember having any of that. I'm sure that it'll probably be brought up, the agenda policy that
Yes.
the county councilor presented 2 weeks ago. Do you want to wait for him, or is there any action you want to take on that? That was the only other thing I had in my stack.
I don't know, were there some other questions you might have for the counselor on that policy? Just wait for Brad. Do you want to take action now?
Probably need his input.
That's, I would just assume wait, if that's all
You
right.
know. That's all I have.
We could do an executive for 10 minutes on property acquisition. Is that what Sheriff has started?
You were just waiting for the time to do it, weren't you? Believe me, I'll be right out here in the hallway.
We could actually include you, I suppose.
Well,
Entertain.
eventually it'll end up in my lap.
Okay, I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss preliminary acquisition of real estate pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, item 6, preliminary discussion of acquisition of real estate with commission for 9 minutes from 12:51 to 1 o'clock.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dahlke. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We'll be back at 1 o'clock.
And team included, right?
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we are out of executive session. No decisions made. We'll move into Department on Aging report. Gayla?
Okay, yeah, we're doing farmer market checks again, and actually, when I wrote this last Friday, I had 5, now I only have 2. So, worked with a couple people since April with, just signing up for Social Security and Medicare. Have been doing a summer Tai Chi class once a week in the park. That comes to an end here, on Wednesday. Been talking to Renee Reedy, the Chisholm Trails District, Chisholm Trail District K-State Extension, about doing Stay Safe, Stay Strong. We're looking at starting that at the end of August, and then I just am seeing if I can interest any people in doing a chronic health class here mid-July through mid-August. So an ad just ran in the paper, will run in the paper this week, and we'll see if anybody feels comfortable getting together in a small group, so we'll see about that. At the Senior Center of Senior Citizens of Marion County, each year, North Central Flint Hills is doing their senior fair. They haven't done it for the last 2 years, so they're gonna do it here this September. And so they always want a nominee from each county, and so Pat Henderson from Peabody will be our Marion County Sensational Sunflower. And then we've also got our speaker for our annual meeting on October 20th. And then, in regards to transportation, just here in the month of June, we did nine trips. For one individual, we provided them trips to Hillsborough and Newton, another individual to El Dorado, and then 2 individuals from Marion to Newton. And these trips were either medical appointments or shopping. And then the transportation committee meets tomorrow. So that's about, do you have some questions or? And I am trying to update the resource guide because.
It's already changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I got some other information and I was over at Gossel at a meeting and they have like a, I think it's called Josie's Closet, where people are getting together like walkers and wheelchairs. And so I was over there talking about something and they said, oh yeah, we have this. And I said, oh, well, okay, something to add. So I hope to work on that and then not print it, but upload it onto my website or county website on my page, so.
Like I said, it's a tremendous resource, great place to go to look to find things that constantly change.
Yeah.
Are the farmers markets open now?
They are, various times. I mean, you know, and the problem is just finding gardeners or farmers that want to be a part of the program. That's like Year-Ox are, and so lots of people, but they can use them in any farmer's market or across the state.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because they sell a lot of their stuff either on the farm or off the corner bit.
And that's where a lot of people come, is to the
But
corner.
they're included in that.
Yeah. So, and then I think there's somebody down in Peabody who is a big, I don't know if they're farmers or big gardeners, and they, lots of times have been at the Peabody market, and I can't think of their name. But they've done it too.
So you don't have to specifically be at a farmer's market selling to accept those.
You just have to sign up for the program. There's like a little education so that they know how the program runs and that kind of thing. And yeah, they don't have to be at a farmer's market.
Commodity distribution's going?
Yeah, we'll do that here in July. And then we're getting 17 items this time. And then hopefully the next time will be in September.
Be a big demand, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be.
Very good. Anything else? Well, thank you, Gayla. As
Yes.
always, we appreciate your work. I know
Okay.
it's appreciated throughout the county.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. And here we are again with 10 minutes.
Can we take 5?
Let's take a 5-minute recess. I appreciate that.
Do I have to leave for a recess?
You do not have to leave for the recess.
Your bag's hooked on your chair there, Dave.
We'll be back up from recess at 1:10.
This conference will now be recorded.
That we need to keep. Okay, recess is over for now. Recess. Since we're all in a happy mood from recess, we'll move into our agenda item with Carl. So we appreciate you being with us today, Carl.
Thanks for seeing me today.
Okay. And anything first, or do we go into executive?
I think you'll go into executive and then Nikki will join us virtually
Okay.
executive.
And how long? 15?
That's plenty of time.
10, maybe 10.
10? Okay, we'll go to.
Would you, Sheriff, we need to wait to shut that door until we have the motion. Yeah.
And, hey, Tink, you're gonna stay then too?
I'm just trying to get it.
Yes, I can stay if the board invites me. So let me,
Because she's active.
She can,
Contract.
she knows where she's, where we're paying
yes,
Okay,
personal performance.
thank you for your guidance. I move to recess to executive session in order to discuss personnel performance, pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, Item 1, Personnel Matters, Non-Elected Personnel Performance, with the Commission, Carl and Tina, for 10 minutes.
And Nikki.
And Nikki, I'm sorry. Thank you, Tina. From 1:12 to 1:22. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gary. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Motion carried. We will be back at 1:22.
Put it in a bucket truck.
This conference will now be recorded.
Watch how high things are going.
Okay, we are out of executive session. No decisions made. Is there a motion from the commission?
Make a motion, we approve the contract with Carl Miller for the next year.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Garing, a second by Commissioner Elke. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. Thank you very much.
Are you ready to sign?
You want me to sign? I can sign, you want me to sign yours? I just printed this here out.
Yeah, I got you.
Or I can sign this one too.
I'm going all. Man, what we all did.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for working with us.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate your
Thank
service,
you.
bud.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, we left it. I was gonna just tell him to get him a copy back.
Thank you.
Ain't gonna look. All right.
Where'd she, like a circle for us?
Yeah, that doesn't make it too difficult. These are too long as it is, so.
Are we okay?
I think so, yeah.
All right, Lloyd, thank you for coming in.
You asked me to review the RFP bids for the courthouse surveillance cameras, upgrades and expansion in the courthouse, and securing the south shop in the RFP. I did review those ones you opened last week. Like I said last week, and Tina said last week, there were 5 total bids. 2 of them from iAlert didn't meet the specs, matching equipment that we requested in the RFP. The 3 that did, and there's a note in here about conversion, they didn't use as many cameras as we put in the RFP. They are in the diagrams and the suggestions they cover, just the same. The low bid came in with 4 PC, iAlert was second, and Convergent was third. I reviewed all the equipment that was itemized in each of the bids. There's a lot of it in there. They did a good job of matching item to item, thing to thing, work to work. So I feel pretty comfortable that all 3 bids that matched our specifications, and they were really comprehensive. All 3 businesses did a great job with it. There was 1 substitution in Convergent, and of course, they're the higher bid with some equipment that is going out of support on one of the sets of cameras that I noted, but that was about the only thing in there. So I've got my final recommendations at the very end of this document. It was pretty brief. 4PC came in the best bid and low bid for the courthouse. As to the south, you have questions about that part of it? Yeah. The south shop, I itemized a little bit in here about why that was such a high bid, compared to us just replacing cameras. We did do access controls in here. With the south shop, we looked at a comprehensive security out there. That included alarms, that included motion detectors inside and outside, independent recording for the video cameras. So if you have video cameras out there and say this is down, when the power's out or whatever, we still would have a recording with a server out there. Also battery backup.
That's a good one.
What else was in this list? Oh, and access control, secure panels, getting in and out of the building. Those were not part of, we didn't do anything like that with the courthouse. So again, 4PC came in low bid of the three. They all matched the qualifications for it, diagrams, everything. They came in best bid and low bid. There wasn't, all three bidders did a good job matching up with what we requested down there. We talked quite a bit about, this last week, about any changes to that.
Can we do something about the noise in the hall? Please. Sorry, Lloyd. Ask the sheriff. Maybe the sheriff can help us.
We want to ask them if they could quiet down. It's hard to hear. I need to ask them to quiet down. It's hard to hear. Thank you.
Last week, when writing that bid, you guys had some questions or concerns about the price of the bid. We did look at it from the standpoint, after we talked the price, I talked to our folks, also 4PC, about what else we could integrate on a smaller scale. There's really two pieces of it, the intrusion detection, and then there's the full camera piece, which is, I mentioned in here, we're talking probably about a $5,000, $6,000 range to do intrusion detection and alarming. I still have some questions, and I don't know if we need to take this back to another RFP to finalize what we would do if we didn't do what was in this RFP. Part of the problem out there is there's no infrastructure for internet. So the backup for this is the cell towers and stuff like that. So do we put in a point-to-point private wireless from there to here and do the intrusion detection part, eliminate cameras for now, eliminate sirens for now, motion detectors? There's a list on the second page of the things in that bid that are not really something we had to add for the courthouse. That's why the price went up. So the last thing that I addressed with this was the access and controls changes and adds. We need to better define what we want for the access controls, and I've itemized that in here too. Whether we're doing panic alarms, access devices, card readers, token readers, access pads, some combination of all that, and depending on the door, speakers for requesting access into the building. We did not, you asked me about pulling cable for it as part of this. We could have that as a changes and adds for whoever gets the final bid, and we probably could have that information in place by then. Okay, we're going to need 3 because we're going to do, a panic alarm or access control or speakers or whatever. So we could have that in place by then. I don't have it in place for now because we haven't determined all those parts and pieces. So I can review that with departments and tech committee. We'll probably have that ready for whoever gets the final bid. So, like I said, based on what I read, tons and tons of this bidding, the RFP for the courthouse and the south shop, 4PC did the best job of that. Access controls, we can come up with a better define that, so we could put cabling as part of the whoever wins that bid. And then I guess a final decision on whether the south shop bid is let or we need to go back and revisit this and define what's going out there. So
the $5,000 to $6,000 range, is that
have any kind of contacts to the sheriff's office?
Yes.
It does have.
Yeah. So, but that would be through cellular, so, cell towers.
Okay, I guess what I would ask is maybe we divide this into two separate discussions. The first one being the base, I call it the base RFP, we came in with $115,000 for the courthouse. I mean, as a commission, are you good with that proposal?
Move forward with Lloyd's recommendation on the courthouse cameras.
For PC, $115,773.57. Motion by Commissioner Garing, is there a second? I'll second it. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried. And to follow up on that, there'll maybe be some investigation into running some cables.
Changes in ads, yeah.
Changes in ads. Very good.
What's the timeline on something like this? After you get the permit?
He told us when he was here, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Approval, installation timeframe, July to October 2022, completion October 16th.
Or from a month to 3 months.
Make sure.
Depending on.
You can get equipment.
Yeah.
Right, now let's move into the South Shop discussion. Bryce, since you're here, did you have anything to contribute to that?
All we've talked about, and obviously the largest, price impetus for this was my thoughts, and the rest of the guys are the same way, is if we're gonna stop, or whatever you wanna say, turn to the vandalism out there, we need to have something that responds almost instantaneously, very quickly. If we have cameras or whatever else out there, we'll get pictures of them.
Yeah.
They typically hit us on the weekends, so it's Monday, Tuesday before we get back out there. So we just wonder if there really wouldn't be, if that would really be much of a deterrent unless we could get that instantaneous notification. Now, like Lloyd's talked about, whether that's via cell phone, whether it's direct tower back, whatever the case may be, that if somebody was notified right away, again, whether it's through here, through the jail, through cell phones, whatever else, so we can instantaneously call them and say, hey, we just had an alarm down.
Right.
Well, that's what the central monitoring is.
Yeah.
It's part of the bid, and that would be part of their intrusion set. So they go to the central monitoring and then they notify whoever.
Yeah.
911 will get notified dispatch, but it would go direct to you and 911, but they would be seeing it in real time.
Yeah.
So that would be part of the small one too, so.
Yeah. And like I said, that's just the big thing, because we're just trying to, and with the buildings kind of looking like they are, we kind of have, especially at the east side, we want to make sure they're, but, ultimately it comes down to the fact is that, I don't think we can stop them from getting in there, and if they want to get in there, but the sooner we can respond to that. Yeah. So, that's just what we're looking for. And I mean, unfortunately, with the technology and the amount of equipment, stuff like that, so, we're definitely open to suggestions.
Yeah, basically this has two parts. One, the wireless bridge to the courthouse. That would be the primary notification with the cameras. And the alarm system and intrusion. If something should happen to that, it falls back to the cellular notifications. So there's two levels to that, depending on what you put out there. So, with us not having the wireless bridge over to here, we can't run the video. We just run out through there, so.
If we had just the video down there, but still had some sort of a notification, would that be possible? Not necessarily a live feedback here, but just throwing that out there.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think the live feed is a great deal, because most of the time anybody's breaking it, I've dealt with camera systems all over the world, and you don't get a good enough picture. So you spend a lot of money, you got very little for the money, because the picture of the quality that you have in the middle of the night. I mean, it's an afternoon when everything's perfect. I think personally, we ought to probably do a little more research on the fact that maybe an alarm company or something that just dials the sheriff's office, is like a homeowner can have, that as soon as somebody breaches the door or goes into a building, goes to an alarm company, they call 911 and say, we have an alarm at such and such address, and we respond. The nice thing about the county shop is you may have deputies all over the county, but you got a Marion PD guy here within a mile and a half that would be more than happy that I've commissioned, that would run out there and help us with that. That would save a lot of money, I think, and have the same effect.
Yeah. Very good. I know the commission had some heartburn over the price tag, but the difference between the live feed and the actual notification, I think, is what both of you are
Absolutely, yeah.
saying the value is in the immediate notification.
Yeah, I'm like Jeff, I've been, well, with the companies I've worked, we've been broken into several times. We had pictures within 4 or 5 feet of them.
Yeah.
And they look at them and said, we have no idea who it is.
Yeah.
You may or may not catch a license plate and, but it's just, and I mean, we had a game camera on, they were there for 6 hours. We didn't know it.
You can't buy a game camera to send directly to your phone,
Right.
a
Sure.
picture, give you a notification, but then you gotta pay a monthly fee, to cell provider too, as well. And then you gotta have somebody maintain the cameras and everything else. And then on top of that, if you do get a decent picture, you can take it to Johnson County Crime Lab, but then you're gonna pay out the wazoo to get that digitally enhanced to find out exactly who stole it. So-
And you still may not know, if they're, because I'm guessing that at every other time we've been hit, there's been numerous times that, there's a ring of them going around and.
$25 worth of goods, but pay $10,000 to figure it out.
What about one of those just regular, like they advertise on TV, homeowner?
Well,
Ring.
that's kind of what we're talking about, is that something like that would notify them. It's,
I mean, just something that calls into the company and they transfer it on.
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's
But-
exactly what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but like I said, we'll just have to do some more research on that.
Get one of those.
The consensus I'm hearing from the commission is perhaps not accept any of these bids, but do some more research on more of a notification system for the sales shop. Is that what we're doing? Because I think that both.
We can get together and discuss and bring something back to you.
Well, I think between the three of you, you've got a pretty good idea of a system that might be a better system and less costly to
The
taxpayers.
courthouse is all right, but we need
Yes, we're just talking about the sales shops.
someone to notify, somebody get out there quickly.
The courthouse has the infrastructure already, so it makes a big difference.
Sure.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Okay, well, take that as commission consensus then.
Depends on who's calling.
Commissioner Mueller, could we get a motion and vote to reject all
Okay,
bids on
we will do
the
that. I would move that
section?
we reject the bids on the South Shop RFP and direct the county engineer, sheriff, and IT specialist to look at other options for direct notification. Second by Commissioner Becker. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Home. I think it'll be a better solution. Very good point about video. What good is it? The notification seems to be the key.
The notification and response.
And response.
As soon as they start seeing response,
Yep.
they'll be set foot on the property.
Yeah.
Sheriff's showing up, police are showing up.
Yeah, instead of
That
6
starts to deter things.
6 hours.
Sometimes just the sign on the front side of the property that says security system in place.
Well, and that's a good point too, that's what they even said too, it's amazing when those signs are there, and they have some logo on the bottom of them, like ADT or whatever else, first thing they do is kind of step back and look around and, so.
Very good. I appreciate, again, all the work that went into the courthouse security system. That is a big deal, and we're only seeing, in these chairs, we're seeing the tip of the iceberg. We know there's a lot of work that went into that, and a lot of value in it. Thank you.
Yeah, at the shop, is it 2 ways to leave, kind of?
There's actually 360 degrees to leave. It depends on whether you're on foot or in a vehicle.
Well, I mean,
Now-
it's true, so two vehicles came one direction, one the other direction,
Well-
probably catch them.
I believe you can actually access it from in town, is that, because that's where the power line comes in from. Do you know for sure what it is? Because I know that's where the power lines come in from.
The road.
Yes. It's not a very good road, but it's, you know, that, they're not looking for a, you know, paved road coming in. They're looking for the quickest way in and out. Now, coming in from 180th, it's quite a little trip to get up there, but that actually is, once they get up there, if they don't put on scene, that gives them free reign. But on foot, they can basically go anywhere. That's the whole point, is if they were, you know, I cased it enough, whatever else, and parked their vehicles far enough away, they knew what was there, you know, or go in there and do all their work and then quickly come in with their, who knows, you know, but.
Spike's true.
Well, you know, I mean, people said, you know, well, we could lock the gate out there. Well, that's just one more padlock for them to cut, or, and like I said, I think you guys saw the picture of what they did to that steel door up there. If they're going to that kind of work, then, you know.
The trick to catching somebody at the scene is to make it more difficult. Get them to camp out longer and give the officer time to respond. If you make it to where there's no padlock on it or anything, they just walk in the door, get what they want to leave. It doesn't matter how fast your alarm system is. It doesn't matter if the guy's a mile away. He's not going to make it in time. So gates and locked doors are the best scenario.
All right, well, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Buckshot.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you guys.
Thanks, sir.
Would you deputize us too?
Packing road bridges.
I'm all about this.
Bang, bang, oh, no, sorry.
All right, we're ready for the next item on the agenda. Tom Britton, we've been hearing him playing in the hallway, so.
Yeah. You ready for you, Tom? How are you about to walk? 2 till? 2 till your meeting? 143.
That's all right. If he misses the dial, we'll just move on.
Okay, then we'll go to Road and Bridge.
What's you gonna do?
Yep, he's not here.
All right, got the request of the commission to put up the signs on 190th at Jade, outside of Hillsborough. Got those areas marked out, all the dig safes, he should be, those should be ready this week, assuming no problems. We're talking with Larry, he brought up the issue of, and I don't know whether it's true or not, that every time that we've moved signs like that, it's required a commission resolution. Okay, Brad's nodding, so we'll probably have to come up with some kind of resolution for that.
Okay. So I'm gonna say the two of you will work that out.
Okay. So he just is like anybody else, he wants to do what's right, but yet make sure everything's covered, so. And what we're gonna do is basically just taking the existing signs that are west of Jade and basically moving them out farther out. The same signs, only we'll just move them farther west. Or farther east. East, west, yeah. So, yeah. So, but that's the plan. I guess wait till the end. Indigo Road update, the plan is to start milling Wednesday, asphalt Thursday. I have not talked with them about working on Monday being a holiday. I doubt if they will, but we'll see what happens. So, but anyway, so that's got a good start there.
How long does it harvest, somebody asked me?
Well, it all depends on the trucking coming out of Wichita. They're gonna have to come up on that. They talked about actually running over on K-15 and coming in on 56 that way. That way they wouldn't be running loaded trucks on the full depth reclamation as well as fresh cement. That's typically what KDOT says, always pave, always run your trucks away from the plant so that you're, you know. So, we're working on that. I think we're gonna have a meeting tomorrow out there to discuss that. But, you know, if they run 2,000 tons a day, it'll probably be 15 to 20 days. A lot of that depends on when the full depth reclamation gets done as well. So that's gonna be the big thing. They'll get the north end covered up fairly quickly. So I'll keep you updated there.
Very good.
The wind farm update, they're still putting down rock on the roads. I think they're gonna start pouring bases next week. Again, we have our bi-monthly meeting. Magnets, following up with the magnets. I talked with both companies. They do not make the connection to our motor graders. This Bunting took some measurements and came back, and he said it's gonna be about $4,000. I can get it done, the stuff that we need, I think we can get done locally for less than $1,000. I've contacted 2 people. So I guess with that being said, I would like to, I don't know if we talked about, or if you approved before, to go ahead with it. I did check, even though it's past the 30 days, they will still honor the $33,686 quote on here. And then we would have, I'm guessing probably less than $1,000 in the attachment for the motor grader.
Okay, so the 33,000 bid was for the actual magnet.
Yes.
Everything goes with it. The only thing you need to get yet is what adapts
Yes.
onto
Yeah.
the grade.
And if we buy the parts new from CAT, it would be about $1,500. But we're gonna actually, we've still got 5 V-plows out the south shop that we're gonna go in and just cut one of those out of there.
There you go.
And so,
They only bring like $50 on
yeah,
auctions.
yeah, so
As
it's,
well.
but we did actually get a call from the guy that actually had won the high bid, that he's still interested in the other 2 that he bought. So, anyway, so.
I don't think you ever took
We
action
never
on
took
the-
action on the magnet though.
But there's, I think I have the quote from Bunting and then the dings.
Yeah, we were waiting to
Dings,
find
yeah.
out the attachment.
Yes, yes, okay.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
And the salesman for them has actually been fantastic. He's actually made 2 visits up here, looking things over, spent about an hour taking dimensions and stuff like that. So I feel very confident in them.
What's the plan once you get one? Right.
Put it on the front of a motor grader and go use it.
Put it on the one that goes between sections.
It'll go on in you.
Yes.
That's the good thing about it.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It'll rotate.
Yeah.
No, it just needs to
That-
ride with James.
Well, I just think, you know, that what's good about it is with that attachment is it will be able to take it wherever we need to, put it on the back of a truck instead of hauling it with a motor grader or whatever. Did you have something in mind, or?
Well, I just wondered how you're gonna cover the county.
Well, basically, anytime we're putting that down, we would go out there and use it.
We have roads right now that really needed, that have metal in them, that we need to get on.
Everything that we put down so far, we had the one from Sling County that we were using, so.
So it'll be mostly on rebuilds.
I guess that'd be, the one you're using from Sling County, when you use it and you drop it, it's pretty, I mean, do you get a pretty good accumulation of that?
It just depends, and that's just like anything else. When you look at the piles, you don't see anything, but when you go out there and run across them, you find some things. So, you know, it's just a crapshoot, but I mean, at least it's one more way. I will tell you that this Bunting company is the same company that our contractor that we hired up here to crush that stuff, that's where he got his magnet as well. So.
Yeah, his must not work very
Well, it was, and he came right out and told me, he said the first time that they had it mounted too high, and so he went out there and said, no, you got it. Well, then he mounted it too low and he electrified his entire machine, so he had metal sticking everywhere. It was quite a little discussion, so.
But most of that concrete's gonna be base, right?
Yes, yeah,
And it's gonna be covered up with at least 2 inches.
that's the plan, yeah. Cause that's what it's made for, is base rock. So,
Your recommendation was the Bunting?
yes.
Bid at 33,000. I would move that we accept the Bunting bid for the suspended plate magnet, 96-inch, $33,686. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gary. Discussion?
Glad we're going with the most local. Just down the road.
Yeah.
Very nice when you got a problem.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Yeah.
4-1. And the attachment, you'll get that locally.
Yeah. I forwarded the traffic study for 330th and K15 to you, is that this morning, I believe?
Yes.
Basically, they come back and said you've had a few accidents, nothing that would constitute doing, according to their policies, doing more. Obviously, KDOT will, when they come back, they will change the stop signs from a 24-inch stop sign to at least a 30, if not a 36. Whether that makes a difference, I asked them about putting flags or whatever else on top of it. They typically don't because they wear out so fast. But again, these stop ahead signs as well as the stop signs are their responsibility. So short of us putting in rumble strips or whatever else, really there would be nothing required. So.
I read through that. Rather than just going to 36 with 36, why just go to 48 by 48 and look again?
Well,
put it all on there.
It's like anything else.
What's your cost difference?
Well, I don't know. You know, they're going to say, well, obviously it's more cost, but it comes down to the fact is we're still putting up signs. If they don't want to look at signs, even though they're bigger, or they're not paying attention.
Well, I was just saying, why? If you're going to spend the money on a sign, why buy two? Just jump to the biggest one.
Well, what they're looking at is trying to keep the uniformity. According to them, in their studies, it doesn't require that. So therefore, I say in their methodology is it wouldn't require.
But it wasn't far below critical. I mean, it was.
The way that rating system is, I don't know. That's why we leave that up to them. I mean, it's going to be state and federal standards that they're going by. And
I think it was 0.04.
It was
under
4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the fact is, you had 4 accidents in 5 years, 9 injuries.
Yeah. And you know, the sad part about it is, I guess I didn't see any fatalities. That's the good part about it is because there's a high probability of fatality with those through traffic on 15 running 65, 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So.
Do they ever use those flashing lights on top of those signs anymore?
Flashing lines are great at night, but they don't do much in the daytime.
Well,
Yeah.
that.
And I can also tell you that we've used the solar lights because trying to run power to them would be an excess. They last maybe a week or so until somebody decides they need them.
Well, I just figured most of them were solar nowadays.
Well, they are, but like I said, they'll go out of their way to climb up on that pole to get them. Yep.
Well,
Anyway.
it's a KDOT sign.
Yeah.
In case that KDOT is going to address it, put in a larger sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and even unless something is requested otherwise by the commission.
At this point, I don't see a need to move the rumble strips. Just let KDOT put the bigger sign and move forward.
Has the accidents been because they've run it, or is it because they've stopped and pulled out in front?
I think most of them because they ran the stop sign.
From the east going west.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
I seen two of them. 2 of the 4 were actually they pulled out.
One was stopped and pulled forward. The other one was coming from the west.
Yeah, and you know if you know and they address the site issue. I mean there's it's not like it's perfectly flat, but is it within reason? Yes. But the other thing you look at is that you know those roads are offset just a little bit from east to west going across there, and it still just says why don't you see a change here or whatever? I mean, it's just, you never know when it comes to what the people are thinking or what they are or what they're doing, you know. So, and I don't think any of them were related to sun being in their eyes either way. So
At this point, KDOT will change the signs and we'll see if that has an impact.
yeah. Fuel bids, area fuel bids, recommend F service. They were low on all 3 areas again. Just the 2 bidders again.
And your recommendation?
Yes.
Make a motion to EPS all 3 areas as low bid, totaling $24,717.07
It's 7.
versus $26,828.23.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Garing, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Becker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Now granted, all three of those were separate areas, but they were still low on all 3 of them, so. Okay,
I feel like reading all 3.
what's that?
I didn't feel like reading all 3. when
Right, I
just
got you,
said it.
gotcha. As asked last week, or maybe it was in the budget hearing, we have a short spreadsheet here of the gallons of fuel that we've purchased up till this point. broken down to MCC, EPS, Co-op, Agri-Trail, and MFA. Gives you an idea of what we've purchased so far. If you want more information, we can sure get that. But at least it's a breakdown of what we got. You know, obviously EPS with the low bids and everything else, that's where most of the fuel is going, so.
It doesn't count on the outside fuel. This is all just transporting area.
Well, no, the like the Agri-Trail Co-op.
Yeah, those are.
Those would
to the
be.
right, or
Yeah.
pump tools.
Yes. So this is everything from everywhere in, that's been in county.
Yeah, I think that was quite several questions. Does that address is that what you were after, Randy?
Yeah, this is not just what the bids was, because you don't buy that much all the time, right?
Well, this is a accumulation of everything. Our fuel bids plus the cards that have been used and.
But this is fuel on the train.
I think what he's asking is, he wants to make sure that's the invoiced amount of gallons, not the bid amount, because the invoice amount doesn't match the bid amount
Oh,
generally.
yeah,
of
that's
number
just the
of
bid
gallons.
amount. That's just what, yeah,
That's what you bid.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, if we can go back, we could pull up all the individual invoices if that's what you want, but, I mean, every month we get the same amount coming in.
Do you buy that much every month?
Well, we get the same amount bid every month,
Yeah, but it varies how much they put in the tank each time, because it depends on how much is in the tank, right? So.
Well, right, but I mean, what we order is enough to keep us going every month.
Right. Okay. I didn't know whether this would be 5,000 gallons high over actual usage.
You know, you look at the quantities there, it sure could be, but I mean, it still would be 5,000 that we would have in the tanks.
Okay. You got it in the tanks, well, you got it.
So it's actually being, all the bid is put in the tank.
Yes.
There's never where it tops off.
Okay.
I don't know of a case where that's ever been.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
See, we was under the impression that that was a maximum bid, and sometimes you didn't use the maximum.
No, most of the time,
Okay.
and of course,
The tanks never get full then.
right,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, they go out there and stab them every time, make sure that we can put that amount in there.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Thank
But
you.
yeah, if you want, yeah, like I said, if you want anything else, you do that. Last thing, just kind of bringing up something that was on the board. Has the commission made a decision on the digitalization of records and things like that? The reason I'm saying is we've been looking, and just with our blueprints down there, if we wanted to go ahead and copy them, is it the plan for the commission to get a big scanner for those? Or is it something that we should go out on our own and get them copied? Stuff like that. We have a tremendous amount. We looked at some of the stuff downstairs in this room down here, and the first one we opened up was the amount of ready mix put in a structure in 1952. So obviously,
That's important.
don't need that. Material costs from the 50s. Things like that we can get rid of, but just more of the fact is of when we have a tremendous amount of real estate, or I should say surveys, stuff like that, which I'm guessing legally we probably can't get rid of, but yeah. So I'm just curious whether you had made any more headway or whatever else on that.
We have not, I guess.
It's been kind of per department.
I think that would, Commissioner Becker's right on direction. For your department especially, is more specialized in the larger.
Yeah.
Which most likely we would probably not get equipment of our own to do that.
Okay.
There would be a company that you made a contract with, or look at leasing a
Might
machine.
lease them for 6 months or something.
Well,
You
I
gotta
don't
employ
know.
somebody to.
Well, and honestly, with the actual, with the blueprints that are down here, just off the top of my head, I bet we could get rid of half of them that are stuff that are just totally irrelevant for what we have now. You know, because I get like with water lines and stuff like that, the first thing a surveyor's gonna do is come in, they're gonna dig their own holes, they're gonna verify what's out there because they have no idea what's happened since then.
So wouldn't the purging process need to happen before we?
Well, right, and that's what I'm getting at, but it's just the idea, if we do get to stuff, and like I said, just in the regular, obviously we would get rid of them appropriately, but.
I guess I'd ask the commission to just get department head to come up with a plan or options.
Okay.
We have to see if there's a need.
Right, as you.
One person needs big oversized blueprints.
Yeah, well, that would be the biggest expense for me, would be just getting those copied. You know, maybe it'd be worthwhile just going to, I mean, there's several places in Salina and Wichita that would do that. Once we, like you said, once we do the purge and everything first. So, but anyway, just bringing that up, excuse me, so that we can, start working on that, so.
Good.
But anyway, that's all, huh?
Have you hired your person yet?
No, Tina and I talked about that this morning, I need to get back with him, so we'll should have something next week.
All right. Thank you,
Well, no,
boys.
one more little comment. I was out in northwest Nebraska yesterday, or not yesterday, last week. And, we were over on the side of the road doing something, one of those little parkways or whatever. And the county maintainer went by and he had a packer on the back.
Hmm?
And he wasn't rebuilding anything, but man, did it look nice. It was right on the back of the thing. He just lowered it down, blade down, and it was all leveled and packed.
They're, I believe they're over $30,000 a piece.
Well, I don't know what they are, but it really looked
Right,
nice.
right.
They take the 30,000, you spin on a magnet, and buy one.
Well-
I have a lot more flat tires than.
Yeah, they, and I believe it's Riley County, basically has them for over half their motor graders. So he said, yeah, come up. He said, yeah, they work great, but he said they're, and the other thing is they're being obviously hydraulically supported. They're very heavy on the back of the motor graders.
Yeah, but it just seems like, you know, you're accomplishing a whole bunch. Especially if you had some fresh gravel on the road.
Well, you know,
Make
and
it look nice.
it's like everything else, fresh gravel and
Well, it
moisture.
did not look nice, it was packing it down.
Yeah.
Seems to me
Yeah,
like
there's
it stay
several
there
of those.
better.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've not seen them.
Yeah.
Once in Colorado on the mountains,
Is
they
there a
spread
roller
that
type?
chemical down behind.
Schematic.
Stuff that I think they're doing by Albany or.
Yeah.
All right, well, very good. Thank you,
Did,
Bryce.
did you have an executive session or something that you wanted to, or you don't want to? Or do- What are you gonna do?
Yeah, let's do 5 minutes. That work? All right. I move we recess an executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Number one, personnel matters and non-elected personnel performance with Commission, Bryce, Brad, and Tina. Let's make it 10 minutes, 2:04 to 2:14. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Gary. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We will be back at 2:14.
Is it okay to close this now?
Yes.
I know she opened it last time.
Was he the one that closed it early last time?
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
He said he was gonna have to take it up if it was illegal, so.
Hold on.
What's that?
Okay, we are out of executive session, no decisions made. With that, we'll move back up and invite Tom in again. If not, we'll move on.
Sandy, how you doing? Good. Long time no see. How you doing? Good, how are you? Very good, very good. Yeah.
You come in or not? I mean, the meeting, you know, if you did? Tom?
We have to go through the.
All right.
Ready to move on?
Move on.
Yeah.
I can ask them if they will let me do that. Because
That's up to them.
And I know it's up to you guys, but I said I'd like to ask you till 2:30 that, and it's on the agenda till 2:30.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say, you have anything new, or is it just rehashing history again?
No, it's new.
Is it about Orston, or is it about history?
What are you talking about, history?
Last time it was just rehashing.
Right, and I'm gonna try to do that, so. And if you guys say no, I guess no, you know, but if you just wait another 15 minutes, I mean, because I got people coming.
Well, the other thing is,
Okay, well, I guess not now.
with your order, really being here in person is not appropriate. You could come in for an agenda item on Zoom.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe I'll just get started on this, huh?
All right, well, we'll move on to our next item then.
Well, you have another item then, so it'll be a little bit later.
we're
You can go in executive session and then that night you come back in later. I noticed on the agenda it says 2:30.
1:45.
Well, I should have been here and I understand all that. And people gotta work and I've been having problems getting everybody together. But they're coming. And, but I noticed that you got 2 to 2:30 for a public forum, and I said maybe I could just do it in public forum.
3 minutes. Okay, that'd be fine. Public forum, 3 minutes.
2:30.
2:30, yeah.
Okay.
Just you.
No, well, there'll be more people here by then, but you know, there'll be other people have comments also and excited, and we can do all that, so, okay. 2:30 then, see you then.
Okay, Brad, what do you got for us?
Okay. These are really just for your files. I made the changes on the private maintenance agreement, and that specifically I added a paragraph 3 to reiterate, even though it's in some of our other policy statements, their indemnification. Any private citizen who undertakes on those things under paragraph 2, that is basically it's set up as an automatic consideration for indemnification.
Okay.
And I think that was primarily and then the rescission of the earlier, I went ahead and put that in as a paragraph as well.
Okay.
So that was done. That was the rescinding 2209 that Tina had mentioned. So that one is ready for action if you so choose.
Okay, is the commission ready for action?
Vegetation. Yeah, number 2. Yeah. Resolution number 2222. Make a motion to approve resolution number 22-22.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Gary on the resolution. Is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
And then,
Do you
Got the
have
master
the
copy?
master that you want them to sign?
yes.
or-
I don't know if I gave the others the last of them.
We passed it back.
I was gonna say there were a couple, but yeah, there we go.
There's a clean one.
There's actually several.
One down here.
And you didn't change it after you sent it earlier?
No.
Just have them sign the one that's not stapled.
Okay. Then, on the road entrance and culvert policy, we wanted to take out the reference to the poly culverts. Also, I made changes to the $50 inspection fee. We went both ways on that, in case you don't remember. Initially, we don't want to have to make them do that with the application, but there would be a subsequent inspection fee that's done when the county engineer does the final inspection. I noted all of that, made that change to it. A couple of other minor revisions that were just clerical. And the rest of it is exactly the way it was presented to you previously. So I made those final changes. I also, on the applications, converted them to one for entrances and one for culverts, and made some appropriate changes in those applications after Bryce had reviewed and had made a couple of suggestions. I did note once again on the culvert policy that the $50 inspection at the time of inspection would be assessed. But this is the one, obviously, that would want to pass. It references the application.
These are extras.
The one I just handed you also, when I printed it off, that's my mistake, and I apologize. It has an extra "and" in it. The actual heading is Marion County Public Works Department, County Road Entrance and Culvert Policy. There's an extra "and" in that that needs to be corrected. Yep. Tina, I'll have to send it. Well, I think I sent the correct one. I printed off, have that But here is an original. Has that corrected.
Okay.
Get a crowd yet?
Not yet, got 3. That's it. He's recruiting some people.
First 3 minutes.
Hey, you're on your way? Okay, good.
Policy, they mentioned about it, just strike out the.
Well, here's one that doesn't.
You haven't cleaned one else.
Hmm?
That was my.
Tell Dave, I'm sure I'm glad he's in his area now.
All right, I would move approval. Marion County Public Works.
I know.
County
It was up to me.
We didn't get a handle.
Second by Commissioner Garing. Any further discussion?
I didn't hear what.
If not, all in favor, say aye.
There's no.
Oh, it's just a resolution.
This falls. Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
And then I was just checking the agenda policy last night.
No, it has not been done.
Yeah.
The only change there is I had an extra D, instead of utilize, said utilized in the very first paragraph. That's already been corrected as well, and that's what was sent to you.
Okay, so we've got it online. I would move approval of the agenda policy as presented.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garing. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Number 4, speed limits out at the county lake. Robert, wondering if there's general consensus and support for that to proceed to lowering it to 20 throughout.
Moving the.
And I haven't talked to Jeff about it, so I don't.
Yeah.
That's all right. I've talked to Roger out here the other
Yeah.
day.
Moving the speed limit sign back. We never heard anything about lowering it. It was just extending that further.
I hadn't put down lowering it.
He told me that.
He wanted to move the signs.
Okay.
He told me he wanted to move it back, like do a 45 on there or something.
I think it drops to 45 right by his house. But if
Yeah.
you take it further north,
So, okay, that's what he meant by lowering, okay.
and you see any issues with that.
That's what, till you enforce it, which is, that's my
Yeah.
job. I'll worry about that.
Well, we just tell Bryce not to fix the road.
Road's fine.
That'll
I'm gonna
be,
leave that alone.
that'll make that self-enforcing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go
You need to
there.
Yeah,
cut
get the
his
rumble
trees, his
strips
driveway, so you can
naturally.
see out.
Isn't he in Dave's area?
Yes, he sure is. Yeah.
Is there any issue why we can't move that back to the mile line?
Not that I'm aware of. As long as we specify exactly where we're moving it to, then I do the resolution accordingly.
I would just move back that mile line right there where it starts to have buildings again.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
I can probably get it.
When you get level, you start to crawl out.
It's kind of the way I am when I pull through all the little towns in western Kansas, start to see an elevator in a couple houses, I let my foot off the accelerator. I assume there's some slowdown somewhere.
That's
And most
8 miles
of
away.
them were outside the city limits.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So you guys have got a consensus on.
I think so. I'll
the
check,
resolutions.
make sure I'm clear on what you guys need.
And then
And I'll
we
do that.
also have the speed limit signs east of Hillsborough.
Okay.
And maybe west. They were kicking around some talk about the west side too.
All I need is locations.
I thought it was just
It was just the east
Just
side.
east side of town.
But the west side, they said they're starting to get people coming up on it pretty quick and then having to slow down by the pool.
John, would you want to communicate with Brad on?
Yeah, just so
Yeah,
if I can get locations of the resolutions, no big deal.
I hadn't heard that one yet.
And then bring it back to commission.
Yeah, I was talking to Jesse the other day, so.
Well, it's because your town is expanding. When I was a kid, that pool wasn't there.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Executive
You know,
session,
way either.
litigation.
Okay.
We could probably get by with 5, but let's make it safe and say 10.
Need a policy. have something for 3 minutes?
4? Yeah, we can try to do it.
All right, I move we recess an executive session for
It's been a
30
record.
minutes, from 2:26 to 2:29, in order to discuss potential, is it pending?
It's not, no, this is actual litigation,
Okay.
current fire and litigation.
Or litigation pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 2, consultation from our attorney-client privilege with the commission, Brad and Tino.
3 minutes.
For 3 minutes, we'll be out at 2:30.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Becker, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
There you go.
At 2:30.
This conference will now be recorded.
Gotta wait for it to come on.
The last one actually is the just the land acquisition.
Gotcha.
We need to discuss specifics there.
Okay, is everybody on?
Yes, there's people on.
There we go. Okay, just wanted to make sure they were on. We are out of executive session, no decisions made. I do believe the commission has a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the chairman to sign a settlement agreement for the events of July 6th, 2021, subject to staff review.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Dalkey. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We're going to move into public forum. It's 2:30. We promised the person in the hallway.
All once.
Third
On your own.
Okay, here we go. We're on, Robert.
Sure we,
Big time.
Gotta be more than take a deep breath.
And you're late again.
We got a policy now, so we'll have to feature.
If you guys want to chime in, well, then that'd be a good thing.
Okay, everybody sign in, please. All right, we'll start the clock. 3 minutes.
Okay, well, let's wait till next week, but anyway, last thing I can do right now is that I went to the Symphony in the Flint Hills last 2 weeks ago, and my date was Miss Rodeo Kansas 1988. I spoke with a state, that's why you guys doing this to me, but anyway, state senator from Republican from you guys ain't even paying attention, are you? Look at you. You're looking the other way, which whatever. And you say, you ain't understanding. You don't care, do you? But anyway, these people here, his family is gonna lose their property and everything. They're so upset about all what you guys wanna do. And it doesn't bother you people. And I don't know why it don't, but look at him. He's smiling. Look at you. And I'll tell you what, how much money are you making off this, Randy? Yes, I'm trying to be quick. So anyway, so I went through the...
Yeah, I think there's accusations here.
Yeah, there is accusations here, Brad. You write that down. So,
Getting about ready to shut it down.
so anyway, so I went to the symposium in the Flint Hills and everything like this, and so yeah, you probably are. One of the things was citing windmills in the Flint Hills. I went through there with Jim Levitt, director, and I've had this discussion. I ended up sitting with a senator and drinking beer and eating steak with a senator from we're in California actually, and I got some from there. Yeah, no kidding. From a Republican, and he hates these windmills as much as I hate them. Everybody hates these windmills. Nobody likes this. We got 61% of the people on our protest petition that you guys screwed us out of. So here I go. It's anyway, focuses on Yale University, focuses on innovations and biodiversity and characteristics, blah, blah. I've been fascinated about soil, fire, and agriculture, and then Levitt has written multiple articles about and biodiversity and conservation. He has lectured widely on the topic and subjects ranging from Santiago, Chile to Stockholm, Sweden. Some of the most inventive practitioners in the world, because I'm from China, Kenya, and Chile. They're right here in Chase County, Kansas.
is this a new paper?
Yeah, this is Grass and Green last week. I was down there. It was crazy because I was in there. I don't know if you guys heard anything about what happened there, whether you're going to shut me off or anything. But yeah, they had a Tornado warning, no kidding. I was sitting through that. I am on YouTube on there for Simpson in the Flint Hills. My truck is, and I'm in there trying to get a leave. These people gave me some.
Thank you for your.
All right, there you go. Yeah, you're welcome.
Would someone else like to speak?
Go ahead, somebody, please.
Going once?
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay.
My name is Bob Gale from Florence, city of Florence. I moved back here 12 years ago this next month. And, 11 years ago this last month. So I kind of came in at the tail end of this thing, or after it's got a good start. Let's put it that way. And I had some concerns, and I went to some of the planning and zoning committee meetings. And it's kind of interesting because, you know, I got to try to start to talk, and they cut me off. It took them 15 minutes to try to figure out how to give me 3 minutes worth of speaking time at the time, which was a little bit discouraging to me because I'd sent some questions as the citizens come back. You know, I grew up here. But since then, I got a little frustrated with it, so I thought I'd do a little research on it because there was some pretty bold claims that were being made at the time about the farm and all of this. And I'd spent a number of years researching wind farms out in Washington State, so it wasn't like I didn't know anything about what I was getting into here. But there were some claims about, now I realize this company has since sold to another company and all this, but that, you know, I'd come to the commission at the time was about, you know, who's vetted this company? You know, making claims that, hey, they build solar farms, they build wind farms all over the country, all this kind of stuff, and upon further investigation, you find out they hadn't put up a single solar panel, they never put up a water pumping windmill, but they sold it to the commission that, well, this experience and all this, and then you could do a little more digging and find out where the money comes from, and it's pretty dirty. So it's something that I guess at this point it looks to me like it's foregone conclusion it's going to get built. So hopefully it's all going to work out great and everything will be fine, because I'm concerned if it doesn't, you know, there's probably going to be a lot of really hard questions going back a ways, and I would invite the newer commissioners that weren't around at the time involved into it to, you know, look back and see the foundations that this was built on and make sure it's sound, because I am concerned as a citizen of the county that if this doesn't go as planned, or at some point things get sold and resold again, could have a problem, and it's going to end up on the taxpayers to clean it up. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
Which one was you saying that had never put a wind farm up? You said, was that a previous company before?
Yeah,
this
before
one?
this one.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, one Zach.
Yeah, it was Joseph H. Kraft and his ministry.
Oh, okay.
Sunwind Energy Group, or whatever they called themselves.
Yeah, and that was in previous.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of history.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're dealing now with.
Oh, I understand.
A new company.
I understand you're dealing with a new company, but like I say, a lot of this was, you know, get sold to another company, on and on and on, and the new guys buy the old guys' problems sometimes, and you know, it kind of gets buried in the wash. But as long as everything goes fine, then at some point, if it doesn't, then maybe somebody starts looking, asking hard questions. So I just invite you guys to really look into it.
Thank you for your comments.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, I was hoping it wasn't this company here, because I thought they've done quite a few.
I think they're probably fine.
Anyone else would like to make comments?
Gary Williams.
Okay.
I was wondering, like, who does investigate this new company that's trying to take over? I mean, is it going to be a scam too, or you know, who do you guys do it, or do we need to hire someone to check into it before things get overboiled on it? And, I mean, it never got checked the first time, and it was kind of a fraudulent deal. So I think someone sure ought to be looking into it. I mean, if it's happening to our county, it's not good if it's going to be a fraudulent type bogus thing. Someone should do it, and I don't know if it's your responsibility or we have to hire someone to do it, but You know, we don't need to get in that bad spot.
Yeah, we've already got all the guarantees, it's an international company, the bonding, securities are all in place. Yeah, they've got a reputation internationally, and several within the United
It
States.
was the first time it wasn't checked
No,
into.
No, again,
You know.
there's a history. What we're dealing with is the current company.
Right,
The
I
company
just
we're
hope they're
dealing
not
with
like
now.
the last one.
The company we're dealing with now has a very long standing reputation, not only in Kansas, not only in the United States, but internationally.
That's good to know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still against them, but I'm,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least you're kind of doing your job, doing that, so.
For them or against them, you don't want them to fail.
What's that?
I said you can be for them or against them, but you still don't want them to fail.
Don't want them to fail, don't want anybody getting hurt.
Right.
Exactly. Very good. Okay, thank you. Anything else?
That's all I got for you.
All right, we appreciate taking the time to come in.
Thanks for giving us some time.
No problem.
Yep. Let's see. All right, I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss preliminary property acquisition. We're winding down.
I can get a hit finally, guys.
Pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, item 6, preliminary discussion acquisition of real estate with commission and Brad for 15 minutes from 2:40 to 2:55.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Marion, all in favor say aye.
I'll see everybody.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
All opposed say nay, motion carried. We'll be back at 2:55.
Those done.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I think everybody's back on. We are out of executive session, no action taken. Anything else? Any commission comments? If not, I move to adjourn. Second by Commissioner Becker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. See you the 30th at 9 o'clock for payday.
So great. June.